Hey there, AI adopters, Camille here. You know what's funny? Just last week, a friend of mine, let's call him Gavin, all right, who runs a small business, asked me something really interesting. He said, Camille, I keep hearing about AI this, AI that, but how does it actually learn? Like, where does it store its information in? What does it actually remember? And I thought that's actually a brilliant question because we're all using AI tools these days, right? But do we really understand how they work under the hood? So today I'm going to break down something that I call the AI learning pyramid. And trust me, this is going to make AI a lot less mysterious for you. So by the end of this video, I hope you'll have a basic understanding of when AI models learn and when they apply certain knowledge and how it all plays together. So, you know how your office probably has different storing systems for different types of files? Like you've got your long-term storage, your active files, and maybe that one messy drawer that we definitely don't want to talk about, right? Well, AI is actually pretty similar. Let's start at the bottom of our pyramid with what I call the foundation model training. Okay, so let me see here, my fancy iPad. Oh, foundation. Okay, so this is the first layer here, right? Let's just go here. Boop, 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 boop. Actually, we'll make it like blocks, okay? Like big Lego blocks, okay? Now, this first layer here, this is heavy lifting, okay? This is where AI learns its basic understanding of the world. Think of it like going to school and learning everything from basic math to understanding cat memes, okay? And then the AI processes massive amounts of data. We're talking about billions and trillions of words from books, websites, and articles, but not just words, but also audio, video, all that type of jazz, images. This gives it basically the ability to understand language, recognize patterns, and make connections. This process is expensive, okay? We're talking about millions of dollars of computing power. That's supposed to be a clock, I guess. I don't know. Here's the amazing part though. Once this foundation is built, the AI can use this knowledge to understand and respond to all sorts of questions. But here's another thing. You don't need to worry about this part because companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, and as of yesterday, actually xAI, Elon Musk's company, just revealed Grok 3, which is their new foundation model. But all these companies have already done this for us. So there's nothing that we need to worry about here, okay? Now, moving up to the second layer, we've got something called fine-tuning, okay? So let's get down here. Fine-tuning. And we'll just plop that right up here, okay? Chip. Okay, and no, this is where things get interesting for businesses because this is where you can take that foundation model and the foundational knowledge and make it special for your needs. Let's say you want the AI to understand medical terminology or legal documents, then this is where that happens. It's like taking a generally educated person and giving them specialized training in your field. Think of it like this. If foundation training is going to college, fine-tuning is like getting a specialized certification or maybe even a PhD in a certain field. The AI basically keeps all its general knowledge, but it gets really, really good at specific tasks that you need it to be good at. Okay? Now, the next layer here is the middle layer, and this is one of my favorites, and this is called RAG. Okay, it's the RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, but I'm just going to call it RAG for the sake of simplicity. RAG, okay? So this is where we're going next. It's a mouthful, again, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Say it with me. Spell it out without looking in the comments if you can, and hit the video with a like. But actually, it's kind of simple. Because instead of the AI trying to remember everything, it learns to look up things in real time. Imagine having a super smart assistant who can instantly search through your company's document, find relevant information, and give you a clear answer based on that specific data, okay? That's basically RAG in a nutshell. And it's a game changer for businesses because it means that AI can now work with your latest information without needing to be retrained, okay, in the lower levels. Plus, it's more accurate because it's using your actual documents rather than trying to guess or remember or identify patterns and then just reconstruct it from memory. Now, the fourth layer here is what we call the context window. And that's been getting bigger and bigger. Context. Okay, window. I guess you get it, okay? Context window. It's like basically the AI's short-term memory. And it's not that short. There are some models, like I think from Google, they were talking about 2 million tokens in a context window. I think the most popular models right now have around 130,000 tokens of context window. But like I said, this is kind of like the short-term memory for your AI. It remembers your conversation, but only until you close that chat. Or if the chat gets too long, essentially, that window moves dynamically. So what goes out of the window is basically forgotten. All right. Think of it like a whiteboard. You can write a lot on it, and the AI can refer to everything that's there while it's, there or you're talking. But when you erase it, that conversation is basically gone. This is actually good for privacy in a sense, but it also means you need to give context each time you start a new chat. Little plug right here. As you are in this context window, you might want to learn how to prompt correctly. And, for that specific matter, I have actually created a little browser extension which is called right-click prompt. I'm going to link it below in either a comment or the description box. And I want you to check it out because it's going to make your life so much more easier when it comes to managing your prompts and always having them available when you need them. All right. So, the size of this window, like I said before, it varies between different AI models, and some can remember a few pages of text, others can handle entire books in one conversation. But remember, it's temporary, okay? And then finally, and this is kind of a bonus because this is not available everywhere. This is what I call, or is generally called, persistent user memory, okay? I'm just going to say PUM, which is persistent user memory. And this is where things get a little bit tricky, especially when we're talking about privacy. This is like the AI's personal notebook about you. Some AI systems can remember your preferences across different conversations, like how you prefer your reports formatted, or what kind of analysis you usually need, or what's your job, what field do you work in, or what are your kids' names and ages. That's specifically for me. Think of it how Netflix remembers what shows you like, but in this case, it is remembering how you like to work, okay? And this is where it's important. We need to be really careful about what information we let AI store in this way. Not every AI system has this feature, and usually it needs to be explicitly enabled. Like here, for example, you can see it in ChatGPT, the app, right? There's this customized ChatGPT where you can have really, you kind of can program it yourself, and you can give it ideas about, what ChatGPT should know about you, what traits it should have, what do you do as a work, right? What's your name and all that. So you can kind of guide it a little bit. There's even an advanced feature that I haven't checked out yet here. It's blended out, so I can't use it. But I haven't activated this. But there's also another one, which is here, memory. And if you go to manage memory, it sees, you can see what type of notes it has been taking from your conversation, okay? And then you can clear the memory if you want. So this is basically that. You got to be really careful with these systems, right? Now, why does this all matter for you? Well, if you ask me, if you're using AI in your daily job or your business or thinking about it, then understanding these layers helps you make better decisions. Each layer serves a different purpose and is created in a different way. And knowing this helps you choose the right tools for your needs. You'll know what kind of AI solution you need, how to keep your data safe, and most importantly, how to explain it to your team. But keep in mind, another thing here, okay? So as we go through those layers here, right? As Gavin asked me in the beginning, how does AI learn? And he also asked about what is safe and what's not. There's a whole different aspect of how we could talk about this, because essentially all these models, every time when you have an online hosted model or an app of some sorts, you're always giving away your data to their servers in a way, right? So even if this is not being used right now, it can be part of the foundation model training later on at a later stage. Same with the context window, okay? Maybe even RAG. I mean, that will be pretty bad when it comes to user trust, but just keep in mind that it's possible that once you upload certain files to other people's servers, they can technically go back in there and even do the fine training and bring that back into their next level foundation training. That's why I think it's very important to consider, especially in a business environment, to maybe go with your own server. Maybe go with an open source model, something that's self-contained, that doesn't go out in the cloud, okay? And I know this might sound like a lot, but here's what I want you to remember. Each layer of this pyramid that we discussed, it serves a specific purpose, just like different parts of your business serve different purposes, okay? The foundation, again, gives a broad knowledge, okay? Broad knowledge here. There you go. It's very broad as that context layer here. I don't know why this is so. There you go. I like playing with these all of a sudden. So again, this is what lets the AI understand and communicate. It basically learns how to speak at that level. Now, then fine-tuning, okay, this is where, this makes it specific to you. And this is how it learns to, speak about certain topics in your industry or your other specific needs. Now, RAG lets you add a second knowledge base that can be used to look it up. The AI can look things up with that, right? This keeps it accurate and up to date with your latest information without having to retrain all the things that it has been learned in fine-tuning or even foundation. Not you couldn't even if you wanted to, right? The foundational model. The context window helps you focus on your current conversation, and then the persistent memory, when used carefully, makes it more personalized to your needs. One more thing that I wanted to say real quickly, okay? There's two things that are similar to persistent user memory, okay? And, well, actually, there's just one thing, but it's used by OpenAI and Claude, and this is projects, and this is almost like it's a mix of persistent user memory and a small version of RAG, because essentially you can create small knowledge bases, okay? With whether this is documents or you can have images, you can have certain text prompts, and then there's when it comes to persistent user memory, in those projects, specifically in Claude, and I think also in ChatGPT, they added this later. There you can have an instructional prompt that tells it basically. Let's say this is you're writing a book, okay? You want to give this instructional prompt, an instruction on how you write, what style you want it, how long a chapter should be, what your intros are like, how you would like to structure certain things. And then in the RAG or the knowledge base of this project, that's supposed to be a C, okay? In this, you have research papers, for example, okay? So this is how you can use that. And I really like that specifically with certain types of context, whether this is newsletter that I write or what other projects are, even all the way down to prompting certain type of image generators, how I like to prompt them. So this is pretty much it. I hope this was insightful. Let me know if you learned something. Let me know if you disagree in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinion on this. But I hope that this solves the question for Gavin and some of you out there as well. And yeah, if you want to know more about these types of things, feel free to head over to aiadopters.substack.com. This is where I host my newsletter, and I try to focus on business-related topics that are not hyping AI. It's basically just, I dissect the complicated so that you can earn the benefits and hopefully get a promotion and use this AI wave as an opportunity rather than being scared for your job, all right? And hey, if you found this helpful in any way, shape, or form, please leave a like and share it with your colleagues, share it with your network, because understanding AI isn't just about staying current, all right? It's staying competitive. And so let's go together as a group and make the best of it. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.